I'm Dolby and I'm going to take you through the 109 F4 in Aces High. It's perhaps one of the best versions of the 109 series. Many would agree and say that it's got the best combination of characteristics out of any of the 109s. It has a spinner mounted 20mm hub cannon, and it's got twin cal mounted 7.9mm machine guns, which for the later models of the 109 after this, that's pretty much a classic layout. The engine power was upgraded from the 109E, but thankfully the weight didn't increase too much to deteriorate the performance too seriously. It has left a plane that is still nimble, fairly powerful, and it still packs a decent punch. The 109F is a good fighter and is quite agile. While people often relate all 109 variants to performance from later models, especially G14 and K4, this 109 is nimble and can quickly surprise and wary opponents. It's more than 400 pounds lighter than the G2 version, which gives it a tremendous advantage in turn rate. Putting the guns in the nose has also made it pretty easy to aim, and the upgrade of the 20mm in the nose cannon from the 109E has given it much more manageable ballistics. The engine power is a little weak against most opponents you'll face, but it's still pretty good. Climb rate is competitive though, and is well sustained right up to high altitudes. Top speed is a little low at most altitudes, so you'll find yourself not being able to pursue or retreat from most opponents your own choosing. Acceleration is good and the WEP lasts, so maximum use of the WEP is not usually a problem. Your WEP is key. All the 109s have long lasting WEP, and it significantly adds to their performance, but that comes at a price of decreased range. The 109F doesn't have fantastic range, so you may find yourself looking up the normal power settings for climb out and max cruise settings for your return home from the E6B. And this is where we discuss firepower. The firepower of the 109F is pretty average by 109 standards, and is not all that fantastic, although the packaging is good and compact. The nose mounted 20mm has the option of 150 or 200 rounds, which isn't bad, and being mounted directly in front of the pilot tends to make aiming a little easier. The cal guns are not very effective, being small caliber, and once you're out of cannon rounds you'll pretty much consider rearming before attempting any more attacks. Unlike the G series, there's no option of wing mounted 20mm gondolas, so you can't boost your firepower. Convergence is pilot preference, but I set my guns in this 109 to 300 yards. Let's discuss manoeuvrability. Manoeuvrability is very good, and certainly in the class and feel of the 109s, the exception of 109E, which can outturn it at full flaps. The extra power of the F model allows it to sustain better turn rates at speed than the 109E. Roll rate is a little weak though, especially when against the prop torque, and can be exploited by those aircraft that are good in the roll. Speed really affects the handling of most 109s. Though 109F is like the E, it's quite forgiving at high speeds. Its pitch and roll and everything become quite difficult over 425. Still, the 109F can give a lot of good turners a real run for their money if somebody underestimates you. 109F can flat turn with a Spit 16 and is much more stable at very low speeds in comparison. Right, it's the part you've all been waiting for, fighting in the 109F. Your greatest advantage is the fact that a lot of people are going to think that you're a late model 109, something that turns badly and is heavy. Instead, the 109F is very light and agile and can give a Spitfire a bit of trouble in a turn fight at medium speeds. As speeds get slower, the earlier model Spitfires will start to enjoy a little more advantage over you. Thankfully, you have better flaps. The Spitfire's flaps are full on or full off, so use your better flaps and torque to your advantage. Try to keep a comfortable amount of energy over him. Try to force him to the left, and moderate your throttle to saddle him. You will need to take shorter range shots or keep in tracking situations for a little longer than with other multi-cannoned aircraft, but the 109F has the turn rate to maintain its position for periods of time that should allow you to finish the job and move on quickly. The engine torque can be used to great effect. Time and can help you pull off some moves that you never thought were possible. Wing overs and tail whips are all thanks to the 109's great rudder authority and torque, and they're very handy in defensive manoeuvres. Top speed is not great, so you have to plan your exits a little earlier than usual. Use your good climb rate and WEP duration to maximise the length of time you can stay at maximum performance to get away. The trim in a 109 is an important consideration, and becoming familiar with when to use it and when it's available largely removes the weakness of poor control at high speed. The K key is very useful when wanting to avoid lawn darting into the ground. Whenever your speed falls to a controllable level, remember you can always return it to normal by pressing Ctrl and X. Right, that's it from me, I think. I don't think I need to say any more. It's a very good introduction to the 109 series. The torque is manageable compared with the later models. It turns pretty good, so you won't be afraid of turn fighting people. It's an aircraft that can give you a lot of confidence to fly the later model 109s as you get used to it. It's a very good 109 trainer aircraft. The K4s and the G14s. I couldn't recommend it anymore if I tried. Right, now I'm rambling, so I'm going to say goodbye right now. I hope you enjoyed the 109 and I hope this video has been insightful. If you're eating, enjoy your meal. If you're drinking, you better share that beer with me or I'm going to be very disappointed. So, have a good evening. Cheerio.